Hi everyone, this is Dr. Stan Gross again. You know, you really can't start your day out well unless you have a good night's sleep. Sleep is so important, not just to your physical health. Of course, that's obvious. If you're not sleeping well, your body's going to pay you for it in negative terms. You're not going to have good concentration. It's going to throw your hormones off, actually. You're not going to be able to distinguish feeling tired from feeling hungry. So you'll eat more and have more snacks through the day if you're tired, trying to recoup the energy you've lost from the lack of sleep. And there's also strong indication that sleep disruption can lead to or worsen chronic disease like arthritis, diabetes, heart condition. Even some studies indicate that chronic lack of sleep can lead to certain types of cancers because of how it compromises your immune system. Then there's also the mental aspects. You lose your concentration. If you don't have good sleep, you can't concentrate. Your memory becomes weaker. Your ability to focus, your reflexes are decreased. You become depressed. You become anxious. You have all kinds of emotional uproar, mood swings, things of that nature. So sleep's vitally important. And you're not going to get good sleep unless you prepare for it. So before you go to sleep, you got to watch out for certain foods and drinks. Caffeine, obviously. For some of you, nicotine is a problem. All those are alkaloids. Any alkaloid will stimulate you to stay awake. That's how they work. Certain medications tend to temporarily increase your energy. Vitamins can do that as well. So don't take them right before you go to bed. They're meant to give you more energy. So don't take them before you want to sleep. Spicy foods. For me, it's not an issue, and for a lot of people it isn't, but if you do respond to spicy foods, it can be a stimulant to keep you awake. So avoid that. Avoid things that are heavy on your stomach, that you feel like you got to digest it first before you can sleep. Those are things that help. Now, some things that'll help, non-caffeinated herbal tea. Yeah, that'll calm things down and help you relax a little bit. Some like warm milk, but I'm not a big fan. I don't like warm milk. But some people do. Now, can you do it in hot chocolate? Yeah, but chocolate's also got caffeine, so you got to be careful there. Certain types of juices are loaded with sugars, and sugar will give you energy. So avoid sugary things. But don't avoid carbohydrates per se. If carbohydrates help you relax, some fruit, things of that nature. I'm not talking about processed foods, chips or candy or whatever, nothing like that. Ice cream is loaded with sugar. Again, that might keep you awake. And it's not something you want to do to stimulate sleep, because yeah, if you're cold and you get under the warm blankets, it might feel good, but your brain's going to be racing. Your brain's going to be going through song lyrics or what did you got to get done the next day. All these different things. So you want to set yourself up mentally and physically. You also want to set your room up. It's nice for the room to be cooler. Most studies indicate 68 degrees is the ideal sleeping temperature. Some like it a little cooler. Some like it a little bit warmer, but I don't recommend going too much warmer because remember, while you're sleeping, you're metabolically active. So you're breathing more deeply, you're producing more heat. And so if you're too warm, it's going to disrupt your sleep. So keep the room a little bit cooler. Snuggle under the blankets. Or snuggle with the one you love. That helps too. If your mind is keeping you awake because of stress, you might want to do things like read, or meditate, or pray. All those things take your mind off the things that are messing with your head. You don't need to be dealing with that. Furthermore, you may want to focus a little bit more on relaxing. So stretching, self-hypnosis actually. Just close your eyes, think about your toes and stretch them, and about your feet and then your legs and how they're relaxing and they're floating. And the tips of your fingers up your arms into your shoulders and chest. Everything's relaxed. Then your midsection, your abdomen. And then finally your head. And your head sinks slowly into the pillow. If you have to do this 2 or 3 times, that might help you go into sleep. Soft music can do it for a lot of people, and for others, keeps them awake. So try it. If it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, turn the music off. There's an argument about dim lighting or total darkness. You know, if we're exposed to too much light, that doesn't allow for the melatonin to kick in for you to have deep sleep. And for people who do, night shift, graveyard, they have to put in blackout in order for the room to feel like nighttime. I do believe that's an issue. So if lights are affecting your sleep, try going without. So what about TV? I have a problem with that. Blue screen. Your TV is a blue screen source of light to your eyes. So is your computer. So is your phone. You want to cut back on your blue screen exposure before you go to sleep. So that allows your mind to relax. Some red light therapies help. You can get red light bulbs and things to put in your room for dim lighting. And that will help with the neutralization of the effects of blue light on your brain. Once you're sleeping and you get there, you want to stay there. Now, the optimum uninterrupted level for sleep, 7 to 8 hours. It's a good idea for most of us to attain that. Some carry the gene that allows them to get by with 4 hours. They feel totally refreshed. I'm not that person. I have to have at least 7 hours before I feel like I've had enough sleep. Figure out where your best sleep cycle is and try to shoot for that. Most of it's going to be, for the most part, 8 hours. Does it have to be uninterrupted? That's ideal. But some of us have to get up in the middle of the night sometime and go to the bathroom. That's normal. Your body has fluid, right, and stored in the legs and other parts of the body. Then when you lay down, that fluid's distributed equally in the body, and so the body wants to get rid of that extra fluid, and it sends it through the kidneys into the bladder. So you got to get rid of that. And you're not going to stay asleep if your bladder's full. It just won't let you. You're also breathing more heavily. And so you're forcing a lot of fluid out. You can fog a mirror, right? That's moisture, that's fluid. Some studies suggest that we exhale as much as a liter of fluid overnight. Wow, that's a lot of fluid. That's about a quart. So when we get up, we're slightly dehydrated, especially if you're getting up to go to the bathroom once or twice and you're breathing deeply and eliminating fluid that way. So let's keep that in mind for when the morning comes. You're going to go through a twilight of sleep in the beginning. Your mind is trying to let down and rest and take you into the deeper levels of sleep. That's rejuvenating. And that rejuvenates and helps with the body, and then REM sleep comes along. So we have REM sleep and non-REM sleep. Both are beneficial to the body and to the mind. It allows us to really detoxify, if you want to look at it that way, eliminate negativity or the negative effects of our environment on our brain, our emotions. But it also gives our body a chance to recover and recuperate and heal. The greatest level of healing occurs when we sleep. The greatest level of rejuvenation occurs when we sleep. So to get there, you can do some stretching. Tai Chi is real good for, drawing the energy down if you do the correct steps with Tai Chi to burn the energy so that you feel relaxed. I don't necessarily recommend heavy exercise because that can be stimulating. And what other stimulating things do adults do in bed that we're probably not going to talk about in this video? Well, that can lead to sleep for some. And that could lead to excitement and lack of sleep for others. Find out what works for you and move accordingly, right? While we're sleeping, we're given the opportunity to start the next day fresh, new. It's the resets, Control, Alt, Delete, for our mind and our body. So we have to treat it with the importance that it deserves. We spend a third of our lives in bed sleeping. It's important. It's an important aspect of our function and how well our waking hours are spent. So get some sleep and do your best to attain that. If you have problems sleeping, if you have problems trying to get the sleep and the relaxation you need, let me know. Leave a message in the comments and I'll be glad to address that for you. Let's see if we can't make sleep something you look forward to. We have more sessions coming up. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye for now.